It's also important that sometimes there are also national constraints on the possibility of using this option. For instance, in China, there are some constraints, for instance, on the extent to which you can make joint ventures. It has to be done in a certain way that ensures a balanced relationship between the owner and the firms that is acquired. Okay, so finally, so the last two things that I wanted to discuss, this I've said already. So actually, subcontracting is most of the time. So let me go here. So subcontracting is most of the time associated with outsourcing, meaning you move the production of one input that was inside your company to some other company. So you some sort of like transfer some decision power outside the company, but still you use the subcontracting contracts to have some sort of degree of your supply channel. Again, you can have a look at this more into detail in the book because this is explained in a pretty clear way. And let me just go to the final point. So the take-home message of all this story about alternative modalities of operation is that foreign direct investment is the main defining characteristics of transnational company, but it is not the only one. Okay. Second is that hard statistical. It is difficult to find evidence and to have hard statistical evidence about the extent to which a multinational company exists. And in particular, this, and we already said this in the previous class, it is also more difficult because, as I was saying, FDI is not the only main things that multinational companies do. So if you really wanted to have a clear understanding of the spread of the size of the international activities carried out by a multinational company, you should also combine FDI data with export data, with data about licensing, with data about subcontracting, which are not easy to get. Okay, so of course the size of international operations is always underestimated in the empirical data. Hence, and this is the conclusion of this slide, the relevance of transnational companies' operations for the world economy goes actually far beyond what can be inferred just by looking at foreign direct investment data. Okay. Now, having said that, and with this I'm going to conclude, and as I said, then we will stop for some minutes. Knowing all these informations, knowing all the things that we have been discussing in these two classes, the key questions that remains to be answered is basically why do actually transnational companies exist in the first place? Okay, so we know what they are, we know that they are many, we know that they have some characteristics, and we know that they operate using some tools that go beyond just foreign direct investments. Okay, still we need to understand the basic question, which is, but then why do they exist? So why do multinational companies actually at a certain point in time in history started to emerge and to spread all around? To answer this question, we need to look at the theory, and this is what we will try to do starting from the next lecture. Okay. So, if there are no questions or doubt, my proposal is that we come back here by 11, so in 13 minutes, and we will continue with the second part of the class. Okay. I think it's useful both for me and for you to take a break, because it's more than 2 hours now that I am talking and you are listening. So I guess you start to be bored. So let's just have a break for 12-13 minutes, and I will start again with the second part of the class, which is lecture 3 at 11. Okay. So see you in 10-12 minutes.